Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. I apologize for being a minute or two late here. Facebook is doing one of those things where it likes to play hide and seek. Well, what can you do? And hopefully we're started now. And if you're here with me and you want to just let me know, hey, Soph, I can see you and I can see Sparky, well, then that'll be great. Just to let me know you can hear me and that you can see me. I love Facebook. You just never know what's going to happen. That's the way of the world, you guys. That's the way of the world. So let's get started, shall we? Today is Monday, and I'm calling it Malady Monday. Do you know why I'm calling it Malady Monday? You're probably like, what is a malady? Well, if you look at Sparky here, Sparky is like, oh, he's not feeling very good. I think Sparky might have a fever. A malady is when you don't feel well. Oh, Spark, are you not feeling well? Oh, I'm sorry. And you might need somebody to take care of you. Yeah, it's like when you get sick or when you have a cold. And so today, I'm calling it Malady Monday. I have some amazing books that were given to me by my friends, Lillian and Gabriella and Rosanna, and they're amazing, and they're all about either getting a strange ailment or going to the doctor. So let's get started with our Shel Silverstein selection, shall we? This is Where the Sidewalk Ends, which is by Shel Silverstein. And this story, poem, is called Bang-klang. You ready for this, Spark? Okay, here we go. I'm not going to show you the picture till afterwards. This is one of those ones where I have to hold off on showing you the picture. I'm Big Barney Zang of the railroad gang. My partner's Charlie O'Flynn, and I hold the nails and the big steel rails, and Charlie, he hammers 'em in. And most of the time he does just fine, but now and again he fails. Maybe tomorrow I'll hammer 'em in, and I'll let Charlie hold the nails. Take a look at what happened. Uh-oh. That's kind of a silly thing to see, isn't it? Oh, yeah. So that's not really a malady, because a malady is like a cold or a flu or a sickness or something like that. But it certainly was something that he's going to have to take care of at the doctor's. Well, let's get started by saying hello. Here we go. Hello, how are you? Oh, hello. How are you? Oh, hello. How are you? I'm just fine today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm glad to see you here today. I'm so glad to see you. Well, it is Malady Monday, so let's stick our tongues out like we're at the doctor's and go, bah! Here we go. Stick out your tongue and go, blah! Stick out your tongue and go, blah! Stick out your tongue and go, blah! I'm so glad to see you. Very good. And you know what? Let's jump around the room and get ourselves moving, because you know, even if we've got a little bit of a cold, we can still dance. Here we go. Jump, jump, jump around the room, and jump, 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 chase away the gloom, and jump, jump, jump around the room. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, now let's do this. Let's rock side to side. Sit in your seat and rock side to side, and sit in your seat and rock side to side, and sit in your seat and rock side to side. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, what time is it, Sparky? That's right, it's Make a Funny Face time. Make a funny face as funny as you can, and make a funny face as funny as you can. Make a funny face as funny as you can. I'm so glad to see you. Excellent, everybody. Let's wave hello. Hello. How are you? Oh, hello. How are you? Oh, hello. How are you? I'm just fine today. Excellent, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for inviting me and Sparky into your home or into your device, in your pocket, wherever we might be. Well, let's get started, shall we? So, Wait till you see this book. I'm so excited about this book. This book is called A Bad Case of the Stripes by David Shannon. And look at the pictures. These are amazing. David Shannon, you are an incredible artist and also an incredible storyteller. Wait till you hear this story. Sparky, you might have a bad case of the stripes. No, I just think that's the way you look. So this is called A Bad Case of the Stripes by David Shannon. A Bad Case of the Stripes. Now I want you to take a look. What are those things all around? Do you know what those are? Those are lima beans. I wonder what lima beans have to do with a bad case of the stripes. We're about to find out. This is dedicated to my wife Heidi and my friend and teacher Philip Hayes, aka Uncle Legend. He sounds like an interesting guy, doesn't he? Camilla Cream loved lima beans, but she never ate them. All of her friends hated lima beans, and she wanted to fit in. Camilla had always worried about what other people thought of her. Today, she was fretting even more than usual. It was the first day of school, and she couldn't decide what to wear. There were so many people to impress. She tried on 42 outfits, but none seemed quite right. She put on a pretty red dress and looked in the mirror, and then she screamed, "Ah!" Her mother ran into the room, and she screamed too. "Ah! Oh, my heavens!" she cried. "You're completely covered in stripes!" This was certainly true. Camilla was covered in stripes from head to toe. She looked like a rainbow. Mrs. Cream felt Camilla's forehead. "Do you feel all right?" she asked. "I feel fine," Camilla answered, "but just look at me." "No, you get right back into bed this instant," her mother ordered. "You're not going to school today." Camilla was relieved. She didn't want to miss the first day of school, but she was afraid that the other kids would say, and she had no idea what to wear with those crazy stripes. Certainly her red dress wouldn't go with those red stripes, huh? Or her red dress wouldn't go with all those crazy stripes, I mean. Oh, poor Camilla. Camilla does have great hair, doesn't she? That afternoon, Dr. Bumble came by to examine Camilla. Most extraordinary," he exclaimed. "I've never seen anything like it. Are you having any coughing or sneezing, runny nose, aches, pains, chills, hot flashes, dizziness, drowsiness, shortness of breath, uncontrollable twitching?" No, Camilla told him. "I feel fine." "Well then," Dr. Bumble said, turning to Mrs. Cream, "I don't see any reason why she couldn't go to school tomorrow. Here's some ointment that should clear up those stripes in a few days. If it doesn't, you know where to reach me." And off he went. Look at Camilla's tongue. Even her tongue is striped. Could you imagine if you stuck out your tongue and there were stripes on it? The next day was a disaster. Everybody in school laughed at Camilla. They called her Camilla Crayon and Night of the Living Lollipop. She tried her best to act as if everything was normal. But when the class said the Pledge of Allegiance, her stripes turned red, white, and blue, and she broke out in stars. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Poor Camilla. But can you imagine being Camilla's classmates? They must have thought it was rather strange, huh? Can't imagine what that might feel like. The other kids thought that this was great. One yelled out, "Oh, let's see some purple polka dots." Sure enough, Camilla turned all purple polka dotty. Somebody else shouted out, "Checkerboard!" And a pattern of squares covered her skin. Soon, everyone was calling out different shapes and colors, and poor Camilla, well, she was changing faster than you can change channels on a TV. Oh, poor Camilla. That's got to be hard. That's got to be really, really hard. That night, Mr. Harms, the school principal, called. I'm sorry, Mrs. Cream, he said. I'm going to have to ask you to keep Camilla home from school. She's just too much of a distraction, and I've been getting calls from all the other parents. They're afraid those stripes are contagious. Camilla was so embarrassed. She couldn't believe that 2 days ago everyone liked her, and now nobody wanted to be in the same room with her. Her father tried to make her feel better.
Well, is there anything that I can get you, sweetheart?
He asked. No, thank you, Camilla sighed. What she really wanted was a nice plate of lima beans. But she had been laughed at enough for one day. Oh, Camilla's parents love her very much, and they're very worried about her. Can you imagine?
Well, yes, I see, Dr. Bumble mumbled when Mrs. Cream phoned the next day. I think I'd better bring in the specialists. We'll be right over.
About an hour later, Mr. Bumble arrived with 4 people in long white coats. He introduced them to the Creams.
This is Dr. Grop, Dr. Sponge, Dr. Cricket, and Dr. Young.
When the specialists went to work on Camilla, they squeezed and jabbed and tapped and tested. It was very uncomfortable. Well, it's not the mumps, concluded Dr. Grop.
Or the measles,
said Dr. Sponge. Definitely not chicken pox, put in Dr. Cricket. Or sunburn, said Mr. Young. Try these, said the specialists, and they each handed her pills and bottles filled with different colored pills. Take one of each of these before bed, said Dr. Grop. And then they filed out of the front door and followed by Dr. Bumble. My goodness, that's a lot of doctors. I can't imagine. That's too many doctors. And look at poor Camilla. She's being poked and prodded. Nobody wants to be poked and prodded. Nobody. That night, Camilla took her medicine. It was awful. When she woke up the next morning, she did feel different, but when she got dressed, her clothes didn't fit right. And when she looked in the mirror, there, staring back at her, was a giant, multicolored pill with her face on it. Oh dear. Look at that. Oh my. Aren't these pictures amazing? I love it. Sparky, you like these pictures? They're great. Dr. Bumble rushed over as soon as Mrs. Cream called, but this time, instead of the specialists, he brought experts. Dr. Gord and Mr. Milne were the finest scientific minds in the land. Once again, Camilla was poked and prodded and looked and listened to. The experts wrote down lots of numbers, and then they huddled together and whispered. Dr. Gord finally spoke. It might be a virus, he announced with authority. Suddenly, fuzzy little virus balls appeared all over Camilla.
Or possibly some form of bacteria,
said Mr. Milne. Out popped squiggly little bacteria tails. Or it could be a fungus, added Dr. Gord. Instantly, Camilla was covered with different colored fungus blotches. The experts looked at Camilla and then they looked at each other. We need to go over these numbers again. Back at the lab, Dr. Gord explained. We'll call you when we know something. But the experts did not have a clue, much less a cure. So poor Camilla, look at all these things that are happening to her. Just the mention of anything seems to spring out on her body. By now, the TV news had found out about Camilla. Ugh. Reporters from every channel were outside her house telling the story of the bizarre case of the incredibly changing kid. Soon, a huge crowd was camped out in front of her lawn. Now that cannot be good. The Creams were swamped with all kinds of remedies from psychologists, allergists, herbalists, nutritionalists, psychics, and old medicine men, gurus, and even a veterinarian. Each so-called cure only added to poor Camilla's strange appearance until it was hard to even recognize her. She sprouted roots and berries and crystals and feathers and a long furry tail, but nothing worked. Oh, poor Camilla. Look at her. Can you see her there? She basically looks like a piece of, goodness gracious. I don't know what she looks like. She just does not look like herself. One day, a woman who called herself an environmental therapist claimed that she could cure Camilla. Close your eyes, she said. Breathe deeply and become one with your room. Oh, I wish you hadn't said that, Camilla groaned slowly. She started to melt into the walls of her room. Her bed became her mouth. Her nose was the dresser, and 2 paintings were her eyes. The therapist screamed and ran from the house. Oh, what are we going to do? Cried Mrs. Cream. It just keeps getting worse and worse. She began to sob. Oh, my goodness. Can you see Camilla's face? Here, maybe if I hold this back further, you'll be able to see. There's her mouth, which is her bed. Look, in her dresser is her nose with the 2 nostrils. And look, 2 paintings, her eyes. Here, let's look at it closely now. Isn't it neat? It's kind of like an impressionist painting. You look at it far back and you see the painting. You get close and you see the different items. At that moment, Mr. Cream heard a quiet knock at the front door. He opened it, and there stood an old woman who was just as plump and sweet as a strawberry. Excuse me, she said brightly, but I think I can help. Isn't she cute? She kind of does look like a strawberry. She went into Camilla's room and looked around. Oh, my goodness, she said with a shake of her head. Oh, what we have here is a bad case of the stripes. One of the worst I've ever seen. And she pulled a container of small green beans from her bag. Here, she said, these might do the trick. Oh, are those magic beans? Asked Mrs. Cream. Oh, I know, replied the kind old woman. There's no such thing. These are just plain old lima beans. I'll bet you'd like some, wouldn't you? She asked Camilla. Camilla wanted a big, heaping plate of lima beans more than anything, but she was still afraid to admit it. Yuck, she said. Nobody likes lima beans, especially me. Oh, dear, the old woman said sadly. I guess I was wrong about you. She put the beans back into her bag and started toward the door. Camilla watched the old woman walk away. Oh, those beans would taste so good. And being laughed at for eating them was nothing compared to what she'd been going through. She finally couldn't stand it. Wait, she cried. It's true. I really love lima beans. I thought so, the old woman said with a smile, and she took a handful of beans and popped them into Camilla's mouth. Said Camilla. Now you can really see the face. Suddenly, the branches, feathers, and squiggly tails began to disappear. And then the whole room swirled around. And when it stopped, there stood Camilla. And everything was back to normal. I'm cured, she shouted. Oh, yes, said the old woman. I knew you. The real you was in there somewhere. And she patted Camilla on the head. And then she went outside and vanished into the crowd. Look, there's Camilla. Oh, doesn't she look happy? Look how happy she looks. And she still has her fabulous hair. I love that hair. Afterwards, Camilla wasn't quite the same. Some of the kids at school said she was weird. She didn't care a bit. She ate all the lima beans she wanted, and she never had a touch of the stripes again. And there she is, Camilla, enjoying her lima beans. And that is a very bad case of the stripes. A bad case of stripes by David Shannon. Isn't that an amazing book, you guys? I love everything about this book. I love the story. I love the pictures. I just think this is an amazing, amazing book. So it's called A Bad Case of the Stripes. And right now, it's not in the show notes, but it will be as soon as I get off of Facebook and I email everything to my dear assistant, Alexis, who will put it in there because Facebook gave me a little trouble this morning. They gave me a bad case of the stripes. Well, I have a really fun song for you. Now, here's the thing about it. Sparky's going to help me show you how we do this song because you got to get up and move in this song. You cannot sit down. No, you can't. You got to get up and move. It goes like this. So it goes Dr. Knickerbocker, Knickerbocker, number 9. He loves to dance and he does it in time. Let's get the rhythm of the hands. And then you're going to clap, right? You're going to go clap, clap. And then it's going to say, let's get the rhythm of the feet. And you're going to go stomp, stomp. And then it's going to say, let's get the rhythm of the hips. And you're going to go bonk, bonk. Let's get the rhythm of the head. Ding dong. And let's get the rhythm of the number 9. Now, here's my favorite part. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. So you're going to jump. Every time I say a number, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, here's the thing. If you can't jump for some reason, that's okay. You can just do it with your hands or your head, or you can bounce up and down in your seat. That's okay. Do whatever works for you. Okay? So let's do it. Okay, you ready? Ready, Spark? Here we go. This is such a fun song. I really like this song. Dr. Knickerbocker, Knickerbocker, number 9. He likes to dance and he keeps in time. Now let's get the rhythm of the hands. We got the rhythm of the hands. Let's get the rhythm of the number 9. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that makes sense? Okay, all right, here we go. Let's keep going. Dr. Knickerbocker, Knickerbocker, number 9. He loves to dance and keep the time. Now let's get the rhythm of the feet. Stomp, stomp. We got the rhythm of the feet. Stomp, stomp. Let's get the rhythm of the hands. Clap, clap. We got the rhythm of the hands. Now let's get the rhythm of the number 9. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Excellent. Here we go. You ready for the next one? Okay. Dr. Knickerbocker, Knickerbocker, number 9. He loves to dance and he keeps the time. So let's get the rhythm of the hips. We got the rhythm of the hips. Let's get the rhythm of the feet. Stomp, stomp. We got the rhythm of the feet. Stomp, stomp. Let's get the rhythm of the hands. Clap, clap. We got the rhythm of the hands. Now let's get the rhythm of the number 9. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dr. Knickerbocker, Knickerbocker, number 9. He loves to dance and keep the time. Let's get the rhythm of the head. Ding dong. We got the rhythm of the head. Ding dong. Let's get the rhythm of the hips. We got the rhythm of the hips. Let's get the rhythm of the feet. Stomp, stomp. We got the rhythm of the feet. Stomp, stomp. Let's get the rhythm of the hands. We got the rhythm of the hands. And let's get the rhythm of the number 9. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more time. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good job. Did you like that one, Sparky? Huh? Did you like that? Oh, Sparky loves to dance, don't you, Sparky? Yes, you do. I know you do. So, we are going to read a story. Let's see what our time is here. Oh, we're getting awful close to the end, aren't we, Sparky? Yeah, because we had a little bit of a late start. Sorry about that. I think maybe what we'll do, Spark, is we'll save our Berenstein Bear book, because it's a long book. We'll save that for another time. And we'll go right to our A.A. Milne story, shall we? Okay, yeah, let's do that. So we're going to read from A.A. Milne's Now We Are 6. So this is A.A. Milne's Now We Are 6 with decorations by Ernest H. Shepard. And this is called Sneezels. And let me show you the picture of Christopher Robin. This is definitely a malady, everybody. He is in bed, sick. Christopher Robin had wheezles and sneezles. They bundled him up into his bed. They gave him what goes with a cold in the nose and some more for a cold in the head. They wondered if wheezles could turn into measles, if sneezles would turn into mumps. There's a lot of wheezles and sneezles. They examined his chest for a rash and the rest of his body for swelling and lumps. They sent for some doctors in sneezles and wheezles to tell them what ought to be done. All sorts of conditions of famous physicians came running around at the run. They all made a note of the state of his throat. They asked if he suffered from thirst. They asked if the sneezles came after the wheezles or if the sneezle came first. Look, there they are. There's the doctors on the run. Running doctors run. They said, if you teasel a sneezle or wheezle, a measle may easily grow. But humor or pleasel the weasel or sneezle, the measle will certainly go. They expounded the reasons for sneezles and wheezles, the manner of measles when new. They said, if it freezles his draughts and the breezles, then sneezles may never ensue. Christopher Robin got up in the morning. The sneezles had vanished away. And he looked in the eye, and the look in his eye seemed to say to the sky, now how to amuse them today. Okay, I should have practiced that one many times because that is what we call a tongue twister. This story was a malady for my tongue, wasn't it? It totally was. All right, well, I gave it my best shot. Well, you guys, it is time for one special thing because one of my special viewers has a birthday today. So I want to sing happy birthday to Madeline. And then right after that, we are going to sing together our goodbye song. So let's have my friend Sparky come and play the guitar with me. Come on, Spark. We're going to wish Madeline a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Madeline. So let's get started, shall we? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Madeline. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Madeline. Sparky wants you to know that he's very, very happy that you are having a birthday today. And now it's time to say goodbye. Okay, Spark, you scooch down just a little bit more so you can help me play the guitar. And we're going to say goodbye. We should start with Madeline because it's her birthday, huh? Goodbye, Madeline. Goodbye, Jalen. Goodbye, Isabella. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Maya. Goodbye, JC. Goodbye, Delilah. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Ollie. Goodbye, Danny. Goodbye, Helen. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Lily. Goodbye, Allie. Goodbye, Bella. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Shelby. Goodbye, Francine. Goodbye, Angelica. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, Gabriella. Goodbye, Lillian. Thank you. Goodbye, Charlotte. I'll see you all next time. Well, everybody, Sparky and I want to say goodbye. So, Sparky, why don't you give everybody a high 3? Sparky only has 3 claws, but you can give me a high 5 and a high 3, and I'll give you one. And let's give each other a big hug if you're in the mood for it. So take one hand, put it on one shoulder, and take the other hand, put it on the other shoulder. So we make a crisscross across our chest and give it a big squeeze. That's a big hug from me and Sparky to you. And we'll be back on Wednesday, won't we, Spark? We're always back. So we'll be back on Wednesday with some more stories and songs. But in the meantime, everybody have a great Monday, and I hope you're not having a Malady Monday. Bye, everybody.